Okay, I'm definitely in the camera now, but I'm sure they can cut it if they don't want it in the same order.
They're just gonna like cut out all that waffle, aren't they?
From Ken Whitson. This is the one that's it's for you. Question from Ken Whitson. The first couple of occasions that Neah did track league in Glasgow, she was taken out in crashes. I wasn't there.
They were not my fault, 100%. They were not my fault. I was at the back. I didn't have a clue what was going on. There were just bodies in front of me, and it's like, oh no.
Oh God. Okay. So the first couple of sessions, Neah taken out crashes at track league. He says, for normal people, that would have been the end of that little experience, but not for Neah. If she remembers this, can she say what was going through her mind that took her back into the Cirque Soy velodrome, and perhaps how that shaped her future achievements?
I mean, the easy answer is no, I don't remember it. Let's move on.
How badly did you hit your head? Oh.
Not hard enough. Yeah, it was definitely one of those of, is this normal? Does this happen to everybody? So I'd never done a bike race. Really was very, very clueless. I was the kind of person that you look at and pity. That was me. And yeah, one of them I remember so clearly of, I think someone kind of changed and dropped down in the line, and I was about 3 riders back, and I saw it happening. I was like, oh no, this is not good. And it was like, I don't know what to do, and yeah, just piled into everyone else.
It's not necessarily that you're riding dangerously, it's that you're not fast enough to react to other people.
Yeah, I just didn't have a clue. Just I could see it happening, going, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. So in some sense, it was also at the time when they had the D's, so it was the dangerous D's, and everyone's like, oh, there's always crashes. So I was like, well, it's a dangerous D's, everyone crashes, right? Cool, fine. I just have to get better so that I can get out this group and then not crash.
And you did,
which I did. Yeah. So one of my overriding thoughts at the time was, I was at uni, I was a student, I was pretty poor, and I got a hole in my shorts, and I was like, oh flip, I have to buy new shorts, and my student loan is getting spent on other stuff, and I don't really want to buy new shorts. So I had them on the table for ages because, yeah, I had about 2 pairs of cycling shorts, and yeah, it was quite annoying. But I guess it was perseverance and going, okay, right, these things happen, you just got to kind of accept it, move on, and luckily there was no damage apart from my shorts. And just
you're onto something with I reckon you're onto something saying about people saying dangerous D's, like there's always crashes and you just take it as normal, because certainly when I was first getting into the sport, there's so much that I look back on now and I'm like, how did that not faze me? And it's because like the people that were kind of showing me the ropes, and the sociopath Alistair Watson just smiled over everything of like, oh yeah, like sort of like tap you on the shoulder and up you go, kind of like, you just,
yeah, it's like when there's a small child who like falls over, and you can either go running over and be like, oh my god, are you okay, or just go, you're fine, just push it off, it's fine. Yeah, I was very much of that, right, okay, well that's that, you know, it's a bit unfortunate, but that's what happens, and once you get better you don't crash.
Yeah.
So one day we'll get there.
Oh, good. Okay, question from Chris McCormick. He asks, me and a friend are looking to do Land's End to John O'Groats next year and wanted to know a couple of things. What is the best way to clock up miles during the winter indoors? And if you have any recommendations of purchasing equipment without breaking the bank? And what is the most important way to keep up the nutrition levels for 10 days? That was a sneaky 3-parter. I'll feed them to you one by one. So best way to clock up miles during the winter indoors.
Well, I guess there's 2 ways of that, of either go to, hopefully you're fairly close to velodrome, go and do miles around the velodrome, or get a turbo, because everyone loves the turbo. I mean, everyone's doing loads and loads of Zwift and loving it at the moment, so I guess that's quite a good way of, if you can find people, because there's 2 of you, you can go on and join with other people. Zwiftopia, no, I don't know what it's called.
Zwift.
Get a smart turbo, get on Zwift, or best of all, ride the velodrome.
Yeah, says, do you have any recommendations for purchasing equipment without breaking the bank? So I think...
Is that for the turbo, or is that for the ride?
I'm going to rephrase it and say, if you could have one nice piece of kit to ride the entire country, and what would it be?
Oh, nice pair of bib shorts.
Yeah.
Like comfort fast.
Yeah.
And then comfy shoes. Like you, yeah.
What is the most important way to keep up the nutrition levels for the 10 days?
Keep eating, plain and simple. You'll be burning through so many calories in that ride. It'll be awesome. Just anything you see, you get to eat. I'd say don't binge on like too much sweetie, sugary stuff early on. Save that for when you're starting to suffer. You know, once you hit Scotland, get on that Iron Brew. Obviously, SIS products, brilliant. Gotta give them a shout out.
Yeah, Beta Fuel on the website, because they do something called Beta Fuel, which is I'm sorry, I'm telling you and you know, but
keep telling me.
Yeah.
Show me that you've been listening to those nutritional workshops.
Yeah, well, most of the time you can only absorb, I think it's on an average, so a huge varying between, say, you and Johnny. You can absorb about 60 grams of carbs per hour, and that's in glucose. So Beta Fuel is part glucose, part fructose, and so you can absorb 90 grams per hour because it goes in through your liver instead. I think I don't really know the ins and outs.
Not quite, but yeah.
Yeah.
Almost. Basically, you're getting two different sugar sources rather than one, which you can manage to absorb.
Yeah,
so,
where it breaks down the fructose. Yeah, there's something to do with compartmentalizing how you can digest it, because otherwise you can physically, like, you can only get through 60 grams of carbs regardless.
Yeah, and the trouble is it then sits in your stomach and you just feel really sick, and the last thing you want to do is give yourself an upset stomach and then still have to ride your bike. Yeah. So be sensible with like all the high-end sugary stuff. Just eat some actual food.
Yeah.
Big fan of hot cross bun on a road ride. Big fan. Cass not gonna watch it, it's fine. Honestly, the number of hot cross buns I've gone through recently.
Oh yeah.
It's impressive. Yeah, so keep fueling, be sensible with what you're having kind of sugary snack wise, have proper meals. Yeah.
Nailed it.
Yep.
Right.
There we go. Right, next. Anne Kennard asks, how do you feel about the lack of full length, oh, this is a good one for you, 2 week or more grand tours for women? Her daughter is continually questioning the reason for this oversight. So go on, Katie, why do we not do grand tours?
Why do we not? I think what scares people about this question is that if you, or certainly what scares me, is if you reply and say, yes, it's stupid, why isn't there a 2 week tour? And it's longer than that, isn't it? And especially in someone in my position as a professional cyclist, the implicit question is like, oh, well, if you believe that, why aren't you doing anything about it? So I guess I'll hold my hands up and say that I'm not making any active change to our community. Like I'm a signed up member of the Cyclist Alliance, but it's not like I'm out with a placard trying to change it every day. But I do feel that there should be a larger Grand Tour. I think the Giro Rosa, as it stands, is already an exceptional event, but I think that the talent exists to kind of excel in a more polarized sporting world in a way that the male riders have the opportunity for, to have your, like, probably even as early as, say, 5 years ago, people would mark out and say the dominance of Marianne Vos, not just through road disciplines, but across different
everything.
I guess because you were trying to just pigeonhole the races into this rounded way of, like, not too hilly and not too long, and it lets everybody lose out. So bring on a Grand Tour, like, that's what we'd all be watching Van Vleuten for, really. That's the first thing that you think of for this kind of stuff. So but yeah, I think probably just growth around the Giro Rosa as well as it stands.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of potential. Hopefully one day.
Yeah.
I mean, I should probably point out that the reason the camera started bouncing at the end was we got joined by Puppy, who has evil eyes. Hello, Puppy.